Katie Shulte Joung is an independent kiln-formed glass artist and jewelry designer working out of Carmichael. After experimenting with stained glass and lampworking, Katie was drawn to the sculpture beauty, elegance, and light inherent in kiln-formed glass. This year, she will be presenting a fresh take on a garden of glass.
Yes.
All right, so welcome.
Hi.
Got you all set up?
I
see. Good. I see the garden. That looks great.
Oh, great. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there you go. That looks great. Okay, so do you want to explain what is kiln formed glass for those who may not know?
Okay, well, there are four or five primary art forms that you can take with glass. And I've tried most of them, and the one I fell in love with was kiln formed glass. Basically, you take different glass components, whether it's powdered glass or sheet glass, and you come up with an idea and you put the pieces together and you stick it in a kiln to about 1460 degrees. And it takes anywhere from 8 to 24 hours or more, depending on the size of your piece. Mm-hmm. And I like it because it has so much vibrancy and color and the structural and sculptural possibilities with it. And it's usually a multi-step process, especially the stuff that I'm working with this year, which is creating these really complex, very large flowers. And that's probably takes at least 6 separate kiln runs. So each one is a huge investment of time, and it's completely worth it. So what else about kiln form? And then typically after you heat it, then you put it over a form to shape it, or you design your own form. So I've done a little of both.
How are you designing those forms that you're kind of draping the glass over?
I use something called Cast-A-Lot. Some people make their own ceramic forms, but I'm not a ceramicist. So I'm just this year beginning to play with creating my own forms.
Okay. And what brought you to this kind of current body of work with the garden? What inspired you for that?
Well, since being outside is, in our own yards is one of the few ways this year, unfortunately, that we can get out and enjoy ourselves. And of course, if they're glass flowers, they're drought tolerant. So, and I learned some new techniques a few years ago that I finally took to a different level. And now I have these really very large, I don't know, excuse me while I go off screen. This is a very large poppy. Am I going off screen? I'm sorry.
Okay. Fine. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Either put it in a pot or plant it in the ground. And it does great outside. I've had one outside for 3 years. And actually this glass isn't even made anymore because there was a change in the industry and a couple of the companies closed down. So this is very valuable glass, at least to me, because it's beautiful. And
it is, yeah.
I'll just put it over here.
Yeah, I love the detail with the center and kind of those stamen coming out. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
This year I'm focusing also on, and again, I like the sculptural elements here. I don't have it on the stem yet because I wanted to hold it for you. There we go. Yeah. And you can see how it's got a luminescent look to it.
Yeah, see the iridescence, yes.
Yeah. And I actually designed the glass myself, painting it with powdered glass on the back to give it the color. So as opposed to, say, with the orange one, that the color was in the glass already. So,
oh, that's wonderful. There's like an added nuance to it.
Yeah, and they're really, and in groupings of 3, it's just such a really pretty thing. And generally speaking, people who are interested in that can help me or help choose the colors themselves, within the ranges of colors that are available. So that's been a lot of fun, a lot of work, a lot of Band-Aids.
I commiserate with you on that.
Yeah, I did with all of the free form cutting. It's
yeah. So why don't you tell us how you get to work? Like, how was your typical studio day when you come to form these pieces?
Oh, my favorite part of the morning after I've had my coffee is to run into my studio. We converted my garage into a really nice studio, and I have 3 kilns out here. So usually every morning there's going to be a little surprise waiting for me. Sometimes they're not a happy surprise, but most of the time they are. So I have to resist opening the kiln before it's at room temperature, because it could damage the integrity of the piece.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And I'm assuming you've done that before, so you've kind of learned from experience.
Yes. You open the kiln and find that you've cracked your piece because you opened too soon. So
Yeah.
because of the change in temperature.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are you film form glass?
I don't, but I have worked with glass before as a part of designing jewelry. So I've done that practice a little bit, and Meg Myers, who we just interviewed, actually gave me some lessons on making stained glass. So I have some background in that, but and also in ceramics. So I totally get the heat change and really being careful with that. So, but it's great to hear it. I mean, especially for artists working in their own studios. So, yeah. So is this kind of one of your favorite projects so far, or do you have
Absolutely.
a favorite body of work? Okay.
I learned how to create that gigantic poppy a few years ago, and really just decided this year that I was going to dig in and really perfect my own version of it. And along with doing that, then I learned this other technique that is the one I already showed you. And I'm going to pick this up because it's kill my in.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so you can put it in a pot.
Yeah.
Anyway, get back on camera here. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. I've had other challenging techniques that I've tried, but this one, everyone's pretty. One of them, they come out and they glow and they're pretty and they make you smile. And we really need that these days. And so it's nice to open a kiln and find that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess with that theme is I've also done some garden critters.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah, so this is a nice little gecko, and it's silk screen on, and I designed the back of the glass myself with, it's a technical thing, but, so that was fun, was creating my own pattern in the glass for this, so.
Okay. Yeah, we had talked about, kind of those unfortunate surprises in the morning when you open the kiln too quickly and something breaks. So has any piece come out of those accidents, and have they become like happy accidents?
Yes. There's been one specifically, this was last year. Oh, here we go. This is what they call a drop vessel, where basically you take a sheet of glass over a form and you let it fall through the form to form, a vessel of some sort, usually a vase. What was supposed to happen, let's see, where are we, is this was supposed to be kind of a flat bottom with a more regular shape. And when I opened the kiln, I thought it was going to fall through the form and end up in a puddle. I was only able to replicate this one step. I had either a set of puddles or a set of ones that I just end up having to cut the rim off because it just didn't look right that way. But I did manage to replicate it once and it sold.
Oh, great.
To remind myself that I really want to try it again.
Okay.
Because it is kind of it's a unique form and it's very fluid. And let's see, like the bottom here, how it's got all this shape to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of character there. I like it.
Yeah. So I did replicate it once, but can't do it again yet.
Yeah. So what keeps you motivated to do the work?
There's always something new to try. I mean, with painting, there's different schools of art and the artists. With this, there's always some new technique, or you'll see something somebody else has made and it'll give you an idea for some new direction to go. So really, it's just there's always something new around the corner. The work I did this year is very different than last year, because last year I focused primarily on the drop vessels, like I just showed you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been fun, and I've got like some lanterns that are silk screen. So I've got this whole garden theme going on. And a lot of that stuff is on my website.
Lovely. And I did actually forget to ask Meg where she could we can find her work. So I'm going to ask you, Katie, where can we find your work? Where are you available?
It's at magpiedreams.com.
Great.
I also have a Facebook presence, but that's a fairly recent venture as part of the virtual tour this year. So we're still working on populating that.
Okay, great. One last question. So you mentioned, I kind of heard it sound like glasses might be a newer art form for you. Did you do something before that?
I've made jewelry for a number of years, and
Okay.
I tried stained glass and really couldn't get the hang of soldering. It was just too frustrating for me. And though it's gorgeous art, it's more two-dimensional. And I tried lamp working and almost burned my hair.
Oh, that sounds like a good story.
and then I tried glass blowing, which is beautiful. And I worked with Phil Teefy over at Rainbow Glass. He's well known in the industry and locally in the community. And it's beautiful, but you really can't see what's happening. You kind of have to know how things are going to happen, because when it's red hot, you can't really see what your colors are doing.
Right.
And it's really a teamwork kind of thing, and it's not something you can do in your garage. And when I took a fused glass class, I left work to be home for my kids, but I wanted something else to do, and I fell in love with fused glass the first time I took it. So it was love at first sight.
Very good. Lovely. Well, I think we're going to wrap up here, but I wanted to thank you for allowing us into your home studio and showing us some of your work. Is there anything else that we need to know about you and your work here?
Nothing else that I can think of. Oh, hey, I actually talked for 15 minutes. Yay!
You got it. Yes. You did a great job. All right. Well, thank you again, Katie.
Okay. Have a great afternoon, and thanks for doing this.
Yes, no problem. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.